I'm a college student, so during the school year, I'm incredibly stressed and busy with classes, clubs, rotations, and maintaining my relationships and friendships. So, with all of that, do I really need to make time for exercising in my life? I mean, I've literally got my entire life ahead of me to do that, so why start now? Well, according to the sources that I'm going to share with you today, the answer is yes. It is crucial to make time for exercise, and the earlier you start in life, the better. I know this may sound a little bit intimidating. It's kind of like when investors tell you that the best time to start investing was yesterday and the second best time is today. But don't worry, I'm going to take you through why starting this summer and taking advantage of this time to go ahead and get into that exercise routine is going to work for you, and why you should incorporate these 3 different types of exercise into your weekly routine. So when people say you should exercise, what does that really mean? I mean, what should you be doing? How often should you be doing it? I mean, every day? And for how long? Well, according to the Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans, you should either be getting 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity in each week, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity. To be more specific, moderate intensity activity is probably going to be more like when your heart rate is a little bit elevated, you're breaking a sweat, you're breathing a little bit heavier than usual, and also during moderate intensity activity, you can probably have a conversation or talk to somebody, but you wouldn't be able to sing during it. Now on the flip side, during vigorous intensity activity, you're probably going to be breathing harder and faster, and your heart rate is going to be significantly elevated. During vigorous activity, you probably would not be able to carry on a conversation. You might only be able to say a couple words at a time. The type of activity and the speed or resistance at which you're doing that activity is probably going to be different for everybody based on whether it's vigorous or moderate. For example, a light jog might be moderate exercise for one person, while it's more vigorous for another person. It all depends on your history, training, and how well you're able to do that activity. And no matter what you're doing that activity at, it's all okay, and it just means progress. Just try to assess with yourself what you think that activity is doing for you, so you can know how many minutes per week you need to be doing it. This 150 minutes of moderate exercise will probably be more like running, walking, swimming, and biking, though other things like doing dance classes, HIIT workouts, yard work, or other forms of activity can definitely count towards those 150 minutes too. And 150 minutes may sound like a lot, but when you split that up over 7 days, that's going to give you about 22 minutes per day, or if you want the weekends off, then that would be about 30 minutes every weekday. Now, at the University of Alabama, almost all upperclassmen have to live off campus because there's just not enough on-campus housing, which means that my apartment is about a 25-minute walk from campus. And while sometimes I do take the bus, it is also nice to take advantage of that time, especially on nice weather days, and use that for my exercise time. I mean, I obviously wouldn't want to show up to class all sweaty from speed walking, but on the way back, that is the perfect time, especially since I have my backpack on, which can add some resistance as well. I can just speed walk, get in my 25 minutes of exercise, and then that goes towards my moderate intensity exercise for the week. Thinking about your day like this can be really beneficial, especially because I don't necessarily have to walk to class, but if I were to think about it, taking the bus is going to be about a 15-minute ride and having to walk across campus. Or if I were to drive to a parking lot, those are also really far away from classes, so I would have to walk anyways. So just adding that little extra 5 to 10 minutes walking to class is going to be a great way for me to take advantage of my schedule, especially when I'm really tight on time. This 150 weekly minutes, 22 daily minutes, or 30 weekday minutes can put you at a lower risk for things like heart disease and stroke, which are 2 of the leading causes of death in the United States. It can also decrease your chances of getting type 2 diabetes, which is a major issue in the United States right now. Aside from this cardio, the Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans also says that you should do at least 2 days of strength training every single week. Strengthening activities can be like lifting weights, working with resistance bands, doing some heavy gardening like digging or shoveling. It can also just be walking up a hill or climbing stairs, or doing sit-ups, push-ups, and squats in your living room. The benefits of adding these kinds of strength training workouts to your week are abundant. By building muscle, you can burn calories and decrease abdominal fat more efficiently. You can decrease your risk of injury by reinforcing muscles around major joints. You can increase mobility and flexibility by increasing your range of motion, and it can make your bones stronger and reduce your risk of osteoporosis. So now that we've covered cardio and strength training, I'm going to close the triad out by adding stretching, which is an underrated but really important aspect of physical activity. A panel of experts convened by the American College of Sports Medicine agreed that healthy adults should do flexibility exercises such as stretches, yoga, or Tai Chi for all major muscle groups. This includes your neck, your shoulders, chest, trunk, lower back, hips, legs, and ankles, all at least 2 to 3 times per week. And it says that you should hold these stretches for at least 60 seconds each. This 10-minute stretching routine, only 2 to 3 times a week, can help with a lot of things, including increasing your range of motion in your joints. It can enhance your circulation, reduce your muscle stiffness and tension, improve your physical performance and prevent injuries, improve your posture, which then will relieve back pain, and it can help you with stress relief. So cardio and strength training and stretching, that all can sound really overwhelming, especially when you're about to have a busy schedule and a really busy year. But I'm going to help you by going through what a week can look like with all different types and all different variations of these exercises. So I have 4 scenarios here for you. So scenario 1, let's start with we're splitting that 150 minutes up for all 7 days of the week. So that's going to be 22 minutes each day of a brisk walk or jog. Now we're going to add in 2 days, maybe a Tuesday and Thursday when my class load is lighter, of strengthening in the living room, doing push-ups and squats and other things that I can find on a video online. Now I'm gonna add the other 3 days of the week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is when I'm gonna stretch for like 10 minutes before I go to bed, super quick. Now scenario 2, let's say it's football season. I don't wanna work out on a Saturday of a football game, and I don't really wanna work out on that Sunday either. So let's say 30 minutes of that moderate intensity exercise 5 days a week during weekdays. That's going to be also maybe some brisk walk or jogging or whatever you'd like to do. Now we're going to add those other 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, of strength training on the Stairmaster, maybe after I get home from the game. On top of that, I'm going to add 3 days that week, maybe again Monday, Wednesday, Friday, of stretching after I get home from classes. Now on to scenario 4. Let's say 150 minutes is just not cutting it for you. Well, let's try to go down to 45 minutes of vigorous activity. So how we can split this up is maybe one 45-minute intense dance class at the rec center. I love doing the classes at the rec center, and they usually are all about 45 minutes long. So that leaves us with about 3 days of speed walking home from class for about 25 minutes each. This would be mixing vigorous activity and also moderate intensity activity in your week to combine your total number of minutes. Now this week I'm also going to add 2 days of strength training cycling classes so that I can go to a workout class with my friends. And then I'm just going to get my stretching in by doing 10 minutes of stretching after each of these rec classes, after my dance class and after my 2 cycling classes. Now, scenario number 4 is if we did all vigorous activity without any moderate intensity activity, so only that 75 minutes. And that's going to be about 4 days swimming pool laps for at least 20 minutes. We're also going to add 2 days of strength training with resistance bands in the kitchen, and 3 days that week I'm going to stretch in the morning right when I get up. All of these types of activity can be woven into your schedule every week, and it can also be flexible, and it can give you room to try all different types of activity. You just kind of have to take time to see how it's going to work for you and remember the benefits and why you should be doing it. So now that you understand the benefits of following these guidelines for Americans, why should you start now? Well, an article from December of 2024 discusses a study that shows that starting exercise earlier in life can actually help to condition your cells to preserve motor neurons before age-related loss. This means that as you age, you'll better be able to preserve your motor functions and do things that you might not even imagine not being able to do when you're older. Things like using a fork to feed yourself or brushing your teeth by yourself. These are the motor functions that we want to preserve and what physical activity can really help us do for the long run in our life. Additionally, starting earlier can better help you form habits that can last a lifetime, because the article reports that it really takes maintaining decent levels of exercise throughout your life to reap the benefits of preserving your motor nerve function. Also, what's really amazing to me is that these recommendations of 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity intensity exercise, plus 2 days of strength training, plus 2 to 3 days of stretching every single week, apply all the way up until age 65. And even then, they don't decrease by much. I mean, imagine yourself at 60 years old. Are you still gonna be in good enough shape to follow these recommendations? Because they do last until then. Our bodies are meant to move, and by moving them, we can better take care of them for the long run. Exercising for longevity is so crucial, and I personally exercise with keeping my older self in mind and thinking about how thankful I'll be that I prioritized my health and my well-being early in life. And again, I know that it may be overwhelming during the school year, but this summer is the perfect time to start, and it's the perfect time to really get in the habit of exercising for yourself and thinking about the future. And by building up my endurance and my core strength this summer, it just means that I'll be that much better at riding the bull when I get back to Tuscaloosa and school starts again in the fall. I really hope that you like this video. This is the kind of stuff I really love and enjoy looking into, and I hope that this week you get one step closer to really reaching and pursuing your exercise goals. Bye!